Yes, people, welcome back to my channel. Romario Webster here, and forgive me for the lack of content. I've been busy, all right? I've been busy with work. Those of you who watch my channel regularly or who know me know I work with TalkSport, and I've been in Dubai covering some boxing for the IBA. Shouts out the IBA, and I'm about to go to Miami for Anthony Joshua Jake Paul. But that's enough of that. It's time to talk Arsenal. Before we get into today's video, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications so you know when I drop a video. But essentially, this video is me sort of looking back on the past week, our result against Wolves in the title race, and what it looks like going forward. Because I just haven't had the time, to be honest, people. I haven't had the time to look at the games. I didn't even get a chance to watch the Wolves game, but I've sat down, watched the extended highlights. I've spoken to a few friends, and I've sort of got my own opinion and views on it. So let's start with that Wolves game. Of course, midweek, we did beat Club Brugge. Shouts out Noni Madueke. I've not been avoiding it. Madueke done very well against Club Brugge. I know I was quite critical, but he gets 2 goals, and his first goal was ridiculous. What a strike. But you expect to beat Club Brugge, right? You expect that sort of win, like you expect to beat Wolves, but it wasn't that easy. It wasn't as easy as turning up and getting the 3 points. Now, speaking to a lot of friends, as I said, I didn't get to watch the game, but I've gone back, and at the time, their opinion was it was quite boring. There wasn't really much happening. And I remember I asked a friend, what's the score at the 68th minute? One of my colleagues I was with, and it was 0-0. It was 0-0 when I asked him to check the score, and I couldn't believe it. It was about the 68th minute, and it was 0-0. Literally checked a minute or two later, and it was 1-0. Saka scores, and it's an own goal. It's from a corner, but it hits the post and hits Johnston. Even at that point, I'm thinking, look, that's not great, but we'll take it. A win's a win. 3 points are 3 points. But then I see 1-1, and I see that Wolves have equalised, and I couldn't quite believe my eyes. They'd equalised in like the 90th or 91st minute. There's 6 minutes added time, and you're thinking, we've messed it up again. It's the same old Arsenal. Another year where we're so close. It's in our hands. It still is in our hands, and we've messed it up to bottom of the league. Wolves, who sit bottom of the league with 2 points, one of the worst, if not the worst, start to a Premier League season ever. It's right up there. I think it might be the worst. 2 points. They're still on 2 points after about 16 games, 16, 17 games. So it's the sort of thing when you see that they've equalised in the 91st minute, you're thinking, how? How have we let this happen? But Arsenal get lucky, and it is lucky. We managed to score with another own goal. Gabriel Jesus sort of put Mascara off, not Christian Mascara, Yersa Mascara, who plays for Wolves, and he scores an own goal. So we get lucky. We win the game 2-1. But what I want to talk about really is, what's the problem? What's gone wrong? And I think there's a few things. I'm a bit cautious about criticising Mikel Arteta, because when I watched the game back, Martinelli had a chance from a corner and his header was just wayward. Saka put a great ball across the box to Viktor Gyökeres, and he wasn't there. And I'm going to talk about Gyökeres in more depth in a bit, but that was a chance. I thought that Gyökeres should have been there to bury it. So it wasn't that we didn't have chances. Declan Rice had a few efforts from outside the area. Leandro Trossard did, and they just didn't. They didn't go in. And of course, it doesn't help that Wolves' last game, they lost 4-1 to Man United, and Man United haven't exactly, been setting the league alight this year. So when you see Man United, and they played well, Man United, I watched the game. Bruno Fernandes was running the show. Mason Mount looked like he was at his best. And when you see them playing that well against Wolves, you're thinking, come on, let's go and put a couple past them. But we didn't. And I don't think it was all totally Mikel Arteta's fault. Maybe it's a symptom of, his ideas and his philosophy and how he sees the team and how he wants them to play, because you look at the lineup and there's more than enough quality on the pitch to win the game. We had the likes of Eze starting, Saka, Martinelli, Gyökeres, Rice, Zubimendi. The team's there. William Saliba back from injury. So there's no excuse for me, for those players not to go out and perform and get a result. So I'm a bit cautious on criticising Mikel Arteta too much, because I think the players should just go out there and do the job. Okay, Wolves did set up in a low block. They came to frustrate. And when you're playing against these sort of teams, it isn't easy to just score. I think Wolves are a lot more open and risky against Man United. They're also at home against Man United. So it's different games, right? No 2 games are the same. So you can't really compare. But like I said, Wolves have had 2 points. They haven't won a single game. They've only drawn and lost the rest. So you do expect better. But I think it's on the players. But where I do think Mikel Arteta did go wrong in the game was the lineup. I mean, Ben White hadn't started a game for the best part of, I don't know, 6 months, maybe might have been longer actually if you count pre-season. But I can't remember the last time Ben White started a game before this run of games he's had, and that was his fourth game in a row starting, and he does his hamstring, and that's where I just think, does Mikel Arteta manage the squad well enough? Does he think about these things? I'm sure he does. I don't want to be, patronising, and also Mikel Arteta is a very good manager. I'm a big fan, but why did he start Ben White? Could he have not started Lewis Skelly, play Timber at right back, move Hincapié into centre back, who started at left back, and give Lewis Skelly a run out and give Ben White a rest? It's one of those things. Eberechi starts centrally. A lot of people are starting to say that's not his best position. I'm not so sure because he scored a hat trick from that position against Tottenham. So it's one of those, like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And maybe Leandro Trossard wasn't fully fit to start. Gabriel Jesus is coming back from injury. Maybe Noni Madueke. I personally wanted to see Madueke start with Saka, especially after scoring 2 goals. And he didn't even come off the bench. Ethan Nwaneri as well didn't come off the bench. And these are the sort of things I'm thinking, like, what's Mikel Arteta thinking? I don't know sometimes. He criticised the team for how they started to defend following Wolves, following our goal when we went 1-0 up. He felt that we were too deep. Is that his instruction? Are the players automatically going into a defensive shape? I'm not sure, but it needs to change. We can't play like that again this season. Against bottom of the league, struggling to win the game, it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable, but some positives. I do want to discuss some positives because we did win the game. Bukayo Saka, okay? He essentially gets 2 assists. He whips the ball in twice and it hits the Wolves player and goes in. What more can you do? Bukayo Saka is important. He is still our most important player, I think. But I'll be honest, as much as Saka's had a great game, it shouldn't just be down to him to force the issue. Other players should be stepping up. Martin Odegaard came off the bench, like I mentioned already. Eberechi, Viktor Gyökeres, Martinelli. Martinelli missed a few gilt-edged chances. Apart from the header, he had a chance where he beat Matt Doherty down the right-hand side, down our left-hand side, cut in, and instead of squaring it into the box, he shot and it went wide. If you shoot from those sort of angles, it's okay, but you sort of got to hit the target or score. And he didn't do either of those, and I think he should have squared it. So it's decision-making, things like that. But Saka, he turns up. He didn't have his head down, gets the ball, whips it in, and we get lucky and it hits Mascara. So big up Bukayo Saka. He had a good game. And I think from now, we've got Everton coming up. We've got Palace in the Cup, Brighton and Villa. Saka can really start to, kick on now. I think he needs a run of scoring. You look at the likes of Phil Foden, who's starting to grow into the season. Even Harry Wilson at Fulham is started getting on that run. Those sort of players, I think once they score 1, 2, they can get their confidence and more goals start to flow and it'll be looking good. But now, one player we have to talk about is Viktor Gyökeres. We have to talk about Viktor Gyökeres. I was really pushing for Arsenal to sign him in the summer over the likes of Sesko, even Ekitike. Voltemada wasn't ever really sold on, to be honest. But Viktor Gyökeres, let's talk about him. He's not looked great. Let's be honest. He hasn't looked great in recent weeks, but I don't think it's all his fault. Yes, he has got some clunky touches. He doesn't always look the easiest on the eye, but I don't think we're feeding him. I don't think the boys are feeding him the chances that he needs that make him perform at his best. You see, Leandro Trossard comes off the bench and instantly fires the ball in behind. Gyökeres brings it down. Shoots wide. All right, left foot, weaker foot, but he gets a shot away, holding off the Wolves centre-back. It's his only shot in the game. His only shot in the game comes in the second half against bottom of the league Wolves. I just don't understand how our star striker, the striker we signed in the summer, everyone wanted, we only afford him 1 shot in the game against bottom of the league. It's criminal to me. It is criminal. And I just find it hard to truly criticise Viktor Gyökeres if he's only had 1 shot. I just don't. He had 15 touches in the whole game. 15. What can he do with those 15 touches? All right, if those 15 touches, he's given the ball away, his passes are going wayward, you can critique him. But in terms of shooting chances, he only had one shot against bottom of the league. I think Matheus Cunha had about 8 against Wolves when they played them. So for me, I'm cautious on criticising or over-criticising Viktor Gyökeres yet. I don't think the team are playing towards his strengths. And against a team like Wolves, maybe it's hard for him to utilise it because they sit so deep and Gyökeres like space and running in behind. But for me, Viktor Gyökeres does need to improve. He definitely needs to improve, but it's too early to write him off. Give him a chance. We've been here before. Not every player hits the ground running, and I still have faith in Viktor Gyökeres. But when you compare Viktor Gyökeres to other strikers, and I want to compare him to Erling Haaland and Hugo Ekitike. He's nowhere near the level of Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland is up there with the likes of Mbappe and Kane, all right? They're the elite. But you look at Erling Haaland against Crystal Palace. Let's use the weekend. Erling Haaland had, how many touches did he have? 25 touches. So he has 10 more touches, but he gets 2 goals. All right, one of those goals is a penalty, but from 25 touches to get 2 goals is very efficient. In his last game where he scored against Fulham, he scores 1 goal. He has 33 touches. So he's more involved in the game. Erling Haaland is often, spoken about as not really being involved in the build-up. He's just in the end of things. But this season especially, Erling Haaland is more involved. And I think that's where we can get the best out of Viktor Gyökeres. And the reason I mentioned Hugo Ekitike is because he's had a few good games against Leeds and Brighton. But they're different strikers. And this isn't what Viktor Gyökeres is. This is more of a Havertz or Gabriel Jesus type, I think. And Ekitike against Leeds, 38 touches, and he scored 2 goals. He had a very good game. Against Brighton, Hugo Ekitike, 49 touches. 49 touches and 2 goals. We're not asking Viktor Gyökeres to be like Hugo Ekitike. We're not asking him to be as good as Erling Haaland. But we need him to just be more involved in the game. And that comes from himself and the team. I think they work together. I don't think it's a case of Viktor Gyökeres is that bad that he's not going to work at Arsenal. I think it's time. I think the team just needs to gel. The players need to work together. Erling Haaland, like I say, is that good that I think wherever you put him, he was going to score goals. He's that good. Hugo Ekitike is very much a team player. He likes being involved in the build-up. He'll pop up on the left, the right. He's a much, much better dribbler than Viktor Gyökeres. So we're not asking Viktor Gyökeres to change who he is. He just needs to be involved more in the game. And I think that comes from the team, the manager, and Viktor Gyökeres himself. So I'm still going to give him time. I've not given up on Viktor Gyökeres. I think he's going to come good. Will he get 20 Premier League goals? Probably not. All right, it's looking like a long shot now. That was my prediction. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe he just starts slapping them away and we'll all be surprised. But yeah, let's look ahead now to the title race, because we've got a title race, people. Everyone was getting ahead of themselves, me included. Oh, man's up. I did say that, this is our league title. But Man City are 2 points behind us, and they're looking dangerous. They're not looking unstoppable, but they're looking dangerous. As Man City, they beat Crystal Palace. I believe it was 3-2 yesterday. No, 3-0. 3-0. Okay, 3-0. But there's some underlying stats here. Crystal Palace's XG was 1.8. Man City's was 1.19. So Man City had a penalty, and the XG of a penalty is very high. I don't know what it is, but that would account for most of that. And they still win the game 3-0. That's why they're a problem. Some people would look at that and be like, well, it can't go on forever. I don't really see XG that way. I think if you can outperform what you're expected to do, it's actually an indicator that you are good. You're very good. You go above expectation. That's a good thing. And that's why they're 2 points behind us. So I don't know, Matt. I think we got to be careful. I think Man City have all the experience, all the ability. Phil Foden, for me, looks the best he's ever been. I think playing with Shirky's helped him. I think those two, they're so dangerous together that teams can't mark one or the other, and it ends up giving them both space. Foden's goal against Palace, Shirky gives it to him. He takes a touch and just slides it into the bottom corner from outside the area. Great finish. They're dangerous. Man City are dangerous. We still have to go to them. They're a problem. Going away to Crystal Palace, I thought, okay, maybe they can get a draw. Palace can get a draw out of Man City, give us a favour, but they didn't. Now, looking at Man City's games, they got a cup game similar to us against Brentford. Then they've got West Ham at home, Forest away, Sunderland away. Come on, Sunderland. You played good against us. Granted, we need something. Then they got Chelsea at home and then Brighton. So it's not an easy run of games. It's not easy, but you expect them to probably win. At least Chelsea and Sunderland are the games I'm looking at for them to really not get all 3 points from. So they're there. They're very much there. You look at our games, we've got Everton away. They're missing Iliman Ndiaye, Jack Grealish, and Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. We've got unlucky. I don't know how it's worked out that all those 3 are missing at once, but I'll take it. And it's an away game. Everton away is never easy for Arsenal, so I'll take it. All right, I'm happy with that, very happy. So hopefully we can go there, get the 3 points. Palace in the cup and 2 home games against Brighton and Villa. We have to beat Aston Villa. Just for a statement, Aston Villa beat West Ham again yesterday, 3-2. Morgan Rogers. I've always said it. Morgan Rogers is class. He's such a good player, and he makes it look easy. And I don't want to start putting comparisons out. I'm not going to say he's as good or can be as good as this player, but the way he strikes the ball does remind me of Cristiano Ronaldo. The way he hits it with whip, it bends, and when he hits it, it looks like it's going in every time. There's not many players in the league that hit a ball as good as Morgan Rogers. His winning goal against West Ham yesterday was elite. It's such a good goal. I want Morgan Rogers at Arsenal. I don't care who for. I'll be honest. Get him in the club. Morgan Rogers has to come. But Villa are a problem. A big, big problem. We have to beat them. They're only 3 points behind us. That's the sort of situation we're in, people. This league season is far from over. We've got a big, big job to do here. And I'm confident we can do it. I'm still confident in the boys. I still don't think we've got... Well, I know we haven't got our best team out there. Gabriel's injured. Trossard hasn't been fully fit. Gyokeres is still sort of coming back to his best. We've only just got William Saliba back. So we do have to be patient. But patience and the title don't always go hand in hand. I think you have to go and get the title. You can't wait for the title to come to you. I think you have to force the issue, go and win the league. Don't let others lose the league for you, if that makes sense. And I do have my concerns. I do. I mean, I look in here, Man City's goal difference 22. That's what they have. They have goals. They do concede, but they score a lot more goals than us. They're a lot more potent. They've got, I think, a lot more individual talent than us. I hate to say it. I don't like to say that, but the likes of Shirky, Foden, Haaland, they all have a case for starting for us. They do. Haaland definitely starts for us. Foden probably starts for us at the minute, and I'd definitely start Shirky somewhere in this team. So Man City are a problem. They're a big, big problem. But I think our team, our defence, I think is better than Man City's. I think our midfield at times works better than Man City. So I do think it's still in our hands. Well, it is in our hands, literally. But I think it's on us. It's on us. I'm not looking at Man City to slip up. I think we need to go and win the cup game against Palace as well. Keep that confidence going. We can win our next 4 games. The whole narrative shifts. So yeah, that's it. I've got a flight to catch, people. Going to Miami for AJ Paul. Hopefully I can do some reaction out there to any games or anything. Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul, by the way, people. Madness. Can't believe that's real. How is that a real fight? I don't know. If Anthony Joshua doesn't knock him out in the first or second round, something's not right. All right, he has to knock him out in the first round for me. But yeah, that's it. I need to go get ready. As I say, always like, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications so you know when I drop a video. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.